Good afternoon, Asheville. This is What's Up Asheville at WRES radio station 100.7 FM, a radio show where we discuss projects and initiatives of the City of Asheville. This is Ricardo Basurto, your host. I'm a communication specialist with the City of Asheville, and today we are accompanied by a dear friend of mine, Kelley Klope. She is Public Information Officer at the City at the Asheville Fire Department. So, welcome, Kelley.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Can you please introduce yourself
Sure.
and tell us, what do you do at the city?
Okay, so yes, my title basically is Public Information Officer, and that means that I am tasked with bridging gaps of communication for internal and external. So that means I would like to build relationships with the community through different communications, whether it's association meetings, business association meetings, manage our social media platforms, getting information out to the media so they can share it with the community. And I'm also responsible for bridging gaps of communication within the fire department. Okay. So as you can imagine, with a lot of employees, we like to, the way information trickles down is important, how we get it to from the chief down to each firefighter.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good point, because then we can think that the fire department is like this big, it's one of probably the biggest department in the city of Asheville, right?
It is pretty large. We have roughly 277 firefighters when we're fully staffed. And so that's a pretty big organization for sure.
Certainly. So we require a lot of internal communication. That's what I do in the city of Asheville, but also a lot of external to as you were saying, to reach the community, right? We want to engage and involve, and that's great.
Right.
Okay, I know that might sound kind of obvious, but I would start with the beginning. Let's narrow it down. So what does the fire department do? I mean, we have seen the images of oh yeah, the firefighter fighting the fire, but
yes.
I imagine that's just
everybody loves a firefighter, right?
Of course,
We're
right.
the heroes, and so I don't want to change or disrupt that image whatsoever. But basically, firefighters. So again, we have roughly 277 firefighters, and what it looks like on a day-to-day for a firefighter is we come in somewhere around 7:30, and we do a shift change, and so they immediately go to where they're assigned on a truck, face-to-face with the person that they are relieving, and so that person knows, hey, you're here, I can go home now. And so that firefighter comes in and will work 24 hours.
Okay.
And they will be there for 24 hours with their, we call it a company, which consists of the truck they work on and the crew that makes up that company. So let's say you're assigned a Ladder 1 company that includes the truck and the personnel from the engineer, who drives the truck, the captain who manages the personnel, and then the firefighters on the back. So they will work for 24 hours.
Straight.
Yep, straight. Yeah. And they are with that crew or company the entire time. So whether you're running a call or going to the grocery store, they're always together. Now within the station, they may spread out a little bit, but basically when the alarm goes off, they're on that truck and they stay together. So that becomes your family. You've heard that, I'm sure, many, many times, that firefighters talk about being a family unit.
Yeah.
And so in the mornings, there's a lot of things to get ready for the day, whether it's cleaning the station, checking all the equipment on the truck, just making sure that you yourself are prepared for what you might encounter that day. So you're checking off your own equipment, you're checking off your air packs, you're making sure your gear is ready to go. Plus you're checking the equipment on the truck, from maybe the EMS kit to are the extinguishers where you last thought they were, the equipment. Just go through and make sure you're familiar with which compartment, so that in an emergency you can easily react, get to it, deploy it, whatever might need to happen.
In an emergency, every second counts,
exactly.
Right? It is important to know exactly where everything is, and that everything is ready to go, right?
Right.
What are kind of some of the emergencies of what's a typical situation when someone can say, oh my goodness, I have to call the fire department, or what situations?
So yeah, there's definitely an unlimited amount of emergency situations. But if somebody were to call 911, that basically means they need help,
Any
right?
emergency, yeah,
Yeah,
service.
they have an emergency. They may not always know, do they need just police, fire, or ambulance? But once they start describing that to the dispatcher will know who to send.
Right.
So if it ever involves any type of life-threatening situation, they will always dispatch fire and ambulance, right? EMS. And then police are often on same calls as well.
All right.
So for us, when somebody calls 911, dispatcher sends us, picks it's automatic by computer automated, right? So there's a system that basically knows which station responds where based on the address, and those tones will go off. And if you're at that station, that's when you get up to respond. So some of the emergencies, obviously very common emergencies, are motor vehicle crashes. Different type of EMS calls could be somebody having a heart attack, to a child fell and broke their leg, to someone's short of breath, choking. Again, unlimited.
Certainly, yeah.
And several different types of rescues. We're involved in all kinds of different rescues and very qualified and certified to respond to those. It could be a trench rescue, could be high angle rescue, swift water rescue. As you know, with the river systems, that's a big deal around here. Confined space rescue, hazmat. And the most obvious that everybody associates firefighters with is we respond to fires.
That's really cool. That's really impressive. There's a lot of things that has to be done. Like one thing that I always like having curious. Then what do you say that then are the requirements to become a firefighter? Not only about like legal requirements, I imagine, but like qualifications, values, attitude. I mean, what it needs to be to
You're going to be
work.
really surprised, but the
Okay.
biggest thing is drive.
Drive.
We can't always instill that. A good firefighter is someone who already has that drive to want to serve others. Once we find that qualified person,
Okay.
we can train them to be a firefighter. So, yes, there are some, you must be 18 years or older, have a high school diploma, things like that, no prior, record, things like that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we are looking for a very diverse group because
Okay.
we all know that diversity makes
Strength.
any organization stronger,
Yeah,
because
it's
you
a
have people that come from different areas, have different ideas, have been brought up differently. And so increasing that diversity within a department makes it even stronger. And when you work together as a team on pretty much everything you do, having those different ideas are super important. So
great.
again, we can't always instill the drive or the desire for someone to be a firefighter. That
Yeah.
comes from them. Once they get to us and have all that, we can train them to be a
Given the
firefighter.
technique, yeah.
Yeah.
I was questioning that because I'm curious, just like many kids. I think we always dream like, oh yeah, police, firefighter, astronaut. But it's also because I was checking on the website and I noticed that we have like many job opportunities open right now. So the fire department is hiring for applications, right?
Right. So it actually closes April 15th, but we do hire annually.
Okay.
So we are running a current application process right now, and unfortunately, it does close April 15th.
Yeah, you have still a few days
Yeah.
till this Friday. Come on,
But
Good Friday.
if this is something someone desires to do, we actually encourage them to reach out to us sooner so they can find out information on how to prepare themselves. Again, you may already have that desire and that drive to be a firefighter, but what can you do to make yourself stand out among the other applicants?
Great.
And so obviously physical fitness is one. We do have
Oh, dang. There goes my chance.
physical fitness is one, and candidates are required to take a certain type of tests, and we can help prepare for that and give an idea of how to get your knowledge back up to speed there as well. And then
Yeah.
also encouraging people to research and understand how to interview well to make yourself stand out. Again,
All right.
we may have 20 openings and have several hundred applicants. So
Whoa.
yeah, you definitely have to figure out how to make yourself stand out.
Certainly. And I would imagine that this is why it's important know like the services that the fire department provides in terms of like education and training, right?
Right.
It's because I remember seeing like we have like programs for adult education or the Citizens Academy, that are like great programs. I don't know. You can talk a little bit about those.
Sure. So the fire department has many different divisions, so to speak, and it makes that's what makes us such an amazing operation is that we have obviously firefighters on a truck, and then we have different ranks within the fire department there, and those are the ones that will respond on an emergency call day to day. We also have different divisions such as training division, who is responsible for ensuring that our firefighters maintain their training.
Okay.
So we have a whole division dedicated to that who provides training, researches training, get training exercises, props, logistic stuff like that for the training. We also have emergency management division who, when there's a major situation in the city of Asheville, be it weather or something like that, storm related, we have emergency management will take over and kind of take the lead on managing the city when it comes to how we're going to operate during that and how we're going to communicate that to all the citizens. We also have a whole department dedicated to inspections and to community risk reduction. So that department ensures the safety of the people, any person within the city of Asheville, from doing inspections, doing plan reviews for new buildings, enforcing codes. Also, as you're speaking of, we have a fire and life safety educator that falls under that division who is responsible for educating our community, whether it's children or adults or everyone in between.
That sounds so cool, and I think it's really important because if you want to apply for a job as a firefighter, as you were saying, you certainly want the training. But if you want to, feel safer in your daily life or know how to respond in case of an emergency, you might want to train, know what to do, right?
Sure. Once you get in the door, all of us are certified firefighters. So I have held many different roles in the department, from being a inspector, a fire and life safety educator, and now I'm a public information officer.
Yeah.
And so you will probably start as a firefighter, but do understand that throughout your career, you will have lots of options as to what path you might want to take further down the road.
Cool. So that way you can be in the line of action to say, but you also can be like training your colleagues or like educating the people and the kids.
Sure. Yes, we love it. We love going out to the schools, educating our youth and having them experience what it's like to be a firefighter, seeing us as role models, the diversity we may have for whether we have white, brown, male, female, coming out and talking to our children. They get to see that diversity and understand, and that they too can aspire to do something like this.
Right. Representation matters. Absolutely. You can visualize yourself and say, oh, I can be.
Exactly. When they see somebody similar to them, that gives a little bit more of an inspiration to drive that way.
And seems like an achievable goal, right?
Sure. Definitely.
Great. I would just like to take the opportunity to make the commercial. So if you would like to schedule a program, of an education program, please don't hesitate to contact the Fire and Life Safety Educator Coordinator. The phone, if I recall correctly, is 828-259-5644. You can reach out to the City of Asheville Fire Department to schedule like a program. That way you can have like firefighters coming to your school, to your business, and chatting, giving training, and that sounds fascinating. That's a great way, I think, to reach out to the community, right?
Sure. And we also encourage people to bring groups within the department. We can do station tours. But yes, when we go out to the community, the children, we educate on obviously topics related to keeping them safe. And when we train with adults, oftentimes it's on fire extinguisher classes, which is super helpful for businesses and your personal life, obviously, knowing how to operate a fire extinguisher. Everyone knows what they are and possibly how to get them off the wall, but they don't always understand how to operate safely.
Yeah, no, I have seen. It's kind of awful to say that, but I'm more familiar with how to use it to weaponize it, in an emergency situations, for watching Die Hard and that sort of movies, rather than actually know how to properly use it in case of an actual fire emergency. So.
And that's why we encourage businesses to go ahead and schedule us to come out and assist with that, because then that gets those jitters out of you. And then if you were to encounter a real fire and have to use that fire extinguisher, you'll already know how.
I mean, I think we all have seen the episode of The Office
Yes.
when Dwight tried to provide like the training and turns out like no one knows how to react like at all. And
Exactly. It's not pull the pin and throw the extinguisher. There's more to do. More to do with that.
grenade!
Yeah.
No, that's not what we're looking at. Okay, and maybe this fire summer camp that you also have, like it's coming this year too.
Sure.
Cool.
Yes, I believe that we will start promoting for that in late fall or late spring, right before kids get out of school. So this summer camp is great because it allows a certain age group, and it might change this year, but it's usually middle school aged children.
Oh, cool.
We bring them out to the camp and we teach them many things from first aid to how to use a fire extinguisher, and then get them very familiar with the operations of the fire service. We bring out fire trucks. We make it fun and engaging, but also a huge learning tool for these kids. And it is free, and so be on the lookout. We have social media channels. It'll be on our website. You can call our department, but we'll start promoting for that probably May or something. I think we usually hold it in June.
Cool.
And we also have something similar for adults. It's called the Citizens Academy, and we're
All
actually
right.
just started that. It's actually annually as well in the spring. And it's about a 6 or 8 week course where adults can come in once a week. They get to hang out with the firefighters, eat dinner with them, and then there's an educational piece that talks about the different departments of the fire department, how we operate, and we're just there for a lot of feedback and communication and interaction, allowing them to get a better understanding of the depth of the fire department and how it operates, and then also being able to, share in some of the fun. They get to ride on a fire truck and put on turnout
cool.
gear, and so it's an exciting time for adults as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like getting the chance to be in a fire truck, it will be like, woo.
Yeah, you never outgrow that for some reason.
Yeah, no, I believe we don't. And well, that's great because that way you also will say like it's an opportunity for the community to see what the fire department does, but at the same time, it provides, I suppose, provides you in the fire department insights about like
Sure.
what people are feeling and what are the engagement, right?
Right. When we have these students, so to speak, come in for our Citizens Academy, we allow them to they ask a lot of questions.
I bet.
And they're really good questions because we live in a, kind of a little tunnel of our own fire department world, and we know what's important, but we also like to hear from our community what's important to you, what questions or what concerns might you have that we haven't thought of. And so it's really great to engage like that and answer those questions for them.
Okay. Talking about like engagement with the community, that's, I mean, in Cape, that's my department, and certainly your position, that's one of what we're looking. What are the traditional, or like, not necessarily traditional, some of the ways that we found to engage with the community? How the community, without necessarily taking the Citizens Academy, how they can engage with the fire department?
Well, if you think about it, we, the firefighters, engage daily.
Okay.
Every single call that we go on, we are engaging with somebody. It may be their worst day, and we're engaging in a positive way to mitigate a situation. Or it could be firefighters are at a grocery store and they run into people, and all the time they're talking to us. We also have, like I said, we have our inspectors who are going out to businesses and are engaging every day with our business owners and other people on the street. And then we have, people like me who attend association meetings, neighborhood association, business associations. We attend events. We often get asked to attend an event. And we just go sometimes just to hang out and let people know that, hey, we are your fire department. We're here to serve you. And sure, anytime that somebody wants us to be a part of something, we often will do our best to attend and just be present.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was checking out and I noticed there's this Community Connect. That's a program that the fire department has, right? Overall, what does this program do?
So, how Community Connect came about is we first had a program called First Do, and First Do is basically we have computers within our fire trucks, and when we respond to a house or a business, First Do already has it all logged in, the information of the location we're going to, the address, how to get there, and then a lot of information about that particular building, the size of the building, the makeup of the building, firefighters can go in and plug in additional information so that we know where the fire department hookup is. Are there hazardous materials? Things like that for when we respond. Community Connect is actually on the resident themselves. So if you want the fire department to know something about you or your home, then Community Connect is somewhere where you can go set up a profile and you can give as much or as little information as you want.
Right.
You might put in there that you have an elderly invalid that is in the back right room that will need assistance.
Right.
So if a fire breaks out and you aren't able to get that person out, we know where they are, and we know that on the way to the call.
Right.
If we respond to that house for an EMS call and nobody's answering the door and we know that there's that situation, we know where to go to.
Right.
You can even put in there, hey, my dog's aggressive, but if you pull out this cookie and throw it this direction and here's the key, you can really get detailed. But there are situations that we might not be aware of. I think there was an example from a past department where they walked into this house, they opened a closet door, stepped in, well, it was actually an elevator shaft. And so that's very, very unique, obviously. And so if your house has something like that, we should probably know about it before we get there.
That will protect you better,
Correct.
but at the same time will provide like another route of like access or evacuation if that is given the case.
And it's very confidential. So if anybody is thinking about doing this and they're concerned about this getting information, it is only the fire department. It's not even EMS or police right now. It's just fire department that has access to this. And it's only when we're on the way to the call that we can click a little icon that has Community Connect if they've put their information in there, and we can click on it and see what they've provided for us to know.
So I think this is a great tool. I don't know if many other cities has it, but certainly sounds like a fascinating opportunity. As you were saying, everything with regarding to safety is about preparation, right?
Right.
So the better you are prepared, the more informed you are, the better we're safe. Like if we have elderly family living with us with limited mobility, or children's babies who
children or adults that have any type of autism that we might need to know. We do missing persons, and if we know that this is how they operate, you can put things in there like they tend to go to the park or whatever if there's a missing person. But again, this is something that the individual has to do for themselves, and so they will need to go to I think it's on both of our websites, but it's definitely on the Asheville Fire Department website where they can click on Community Connect and fill out that profile if you're a resident of the City of Asheville.
Excellent. So you hear Kelley. If you live in Asheville, please, we encourage you to go to Community Connect and register your house, provide any information that you think might come relevant, and just to be safe. It's for your safety and the safety of those that you love. So.
And while we're talking about that, not to overwhelm people, but another situation where you would probably want to set up a profile is something called AVL Alert. Yeah. So this is an alerting system that the City of Asheville uses in order to alert residents of an emergency. It could be flooding in your area, or down power lines, or water interruptions, or a missing person in the area. But again, you, the person, have to go on there and fill out your own profile. And both City of Asheville and Asheville Fire Department have links on their front pages to where it's called AVL Alert. You set up a profile. You can even set how you want to be notified. If you put in your cell phone, you can notify by text message, then the cell phone if you don't answer, or strictly text message. However you want to be notified, you put in the address that you, up to 5 addresses, that if something were to happen at those addresses, you will be notified. So it could be your children's school, it could be your mom's house, and your house. And that way you can be notified if an emergency were big enough that we felt we needed to notify you all.
That's great. I mean, at this point, by law, if there's an Amber Alert, we get a notification instantly in the area. But with AVL Alert, we are customizing to our house, our kids' school, or job, I don't know.
Yep,
addresses.
Exactly.
If you have a business in a different location, you want to know if everything's being around. That's great. Yeah, right. We always encourage you here to register for AVL Alert. So please go to the website and register for AVL Alert, and please create a profile and provide information at Community Connect. That can save lives and that can save many things. Absolutely. I understand it's very simple, right? Just create the account, enter the information that matters the most to you, and that way you help your fire department when seconds count. So
there you go. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
and we don't overuse it. It is only for an emergency, so it's nothing that we're going to be pushing out. Hey, there's a garage sale here today, or we saw a bear there today, because that would overwhelm people. We only use it for emergencies.
Yeah, for the record, if there's a bear, I would love to receive a message, because
it's not going to be from AVL Alert. Sorry. I'm sorry, Ricardo.
Come on. That's important.
There's other apps for that. I think that the neighborhoods use Nextdoor, which is, an inside Facebook app that you can get in, or Facebook application where you can talk to each other within the neighborhood and share that information.
Yeah, my wife and I, we live in Barnersville, out in the mountains, and we haven't seen a bear.
You won't. You know why? Because your trash can's too far from the other person's. Right. It's when the cluster of homes, and they can quickly get to garbage can after garbage can. They're smart animals.
Out in the
wild, they're fighting with other animals out there.
Well, but yeah, don't worry. You will not be receiving that sort of alerts.
No.
And something that I understand, though, going back to Community Connect, it is like you were mentioning that you can set like different options, right? Mm-hmm. It's not the same. You have your house or you have a business. You also can register your business, right? In case you have if you have a kitchen and you have a little flammable thing at some point, you might want to let them know about that. Or
and Community Connect, yeah. So like if you have a business within the City of Asheville and you have unique features in there, if we haven't already put it in there, then Community Connect is a way to, again, just put as much information about that particular building so that when a firefighter responds, they're already aware of what they're getting into.
That's great. I mean, and I think that going back to one of the things that you were mentioning earlier, I think so many times we don't understand that fire departments are not always there when there's an emergency. It's like a lot of preparation and training and stuff like that. I was reading that the City of Asheville Police Department, they have the ISO certification and the accreditations since 2005. What this accreditations entails?
So an accreditation is a self-evaluation. It's not required, but what it does is it proves to the city that we are the best that we can be year after year after year. So we were accredited originally in 2005, and every 5 years you can be reaccredited. But what that takes is submitting a lot of information to an agency that certifies you in that. And so we're always trying to be the best of the best. Certainly. And that includes everything from the communication. We evaluate so many different factors of our fire department, from our communication, the radio systems we have, how fast we get on a call, how fast is that call dispatched, how many members we have on each truck, how many fire and life safety education programs do we present, how many people have we reached. So we evaluate all aspects of our department. How many inspections have we completed? Again, it's a self-evaluation of our fire department. We do it voluntarily so that we can always keep ourselves in check, making sure that we are the best of the best with the newest technology, up-to-date data systems, dispatching, communication, all of that, so that we can then be accredited and prove to our citizens that you have the best department that you could possibly have.
That's awesome. Sounds really cool. It has been really interesting talking with you, Kelley, because we have learned a lot, I hope, about what the fire department does and the different programs that they have. So please, you can register for please register at Community Connect, or sign yourself for AVL Alert. Schedule an appointment to have adult education program coming to you, and please don't forget that we are having here the best of the best of the best, undoubtedly.
Yes, don't forget that. That's the main message, is you have the best fire department serving you.
And we have to use it and engage and connect, undoubtedly.
Feel free to reach out to us anytime. We have a website you can engage with, or our main line is 828-259-4600. 5636. If you have any question, we encourage people to call us.
Absolutely. And well, that's all the time we have for today here at What's Up AVL. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Kelley, for coming today. And please don't forget to participate, to check out the different programs that we have at the Fire Department at the City of Asheville. And stay tuned. See you soon with another program here on WRES 100.7 FM. Have a wonderful day and take care of one another, Asheville. See you soon.